So everyone, in this episode, I'm going to talk about liquidity. All right, I'm going to talk about the liquidity. All right. So before I proceed, I want you guys to subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and share. And then I want you guys to subscribe to my Telegram channel. So I have the link in the description below. All right, join my Telegram channel. So I drop more educational content on my Telegram channel, and then I also drop daily outlook on my Telegram channel as well. So make sure you join, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell so that whenever I drop new video, so you guys can be notified. So now, without wasting much time, so let's continue. So as you guys already know, in the forex market, we have two types of liquidity, which is we have the external liquidity and then we have the internal liquidity. All right. The external liquidity are liquidity that operate outside the market. All right. They operate outside the market. While the internal liquidity, they are the liquidity that operate inside the market. All right. That operate inside the market. And then what are the external liquidity? The external liquidity are your swing high, all right, are your swing recent high and the swing recent low. All right, so the swing recent high, which is your external liquidity, which is your swing high, and then the swing low, which is your external liquidity as well. All right, you can see that price operates outside them. All right, price oscillates outside and then within them. All right, so you can see now when price, this is a bearish market, all right? So when price reach structure to bearish market, the last high price created before the bearish movement is your swing high, all right? So when price created the bearish market and then price is about to pick up the bullish market, all right? When price created the bearish market and then price is about to switch to the bullish market, the last low price created before the rally bullish movement is your swing low, which is the external liquidity. All right, you can see. So price operates within them. All right, price operates within them. All right, those are your, that is your external liquidity. So if you are talking about the internal liquidity are liquidity that operates inside the external liquidity. All right, they operate inside the external liquidity. Yeah, you can see after price generates this external liquidity, you can see price started creating some sort of liquidity. All right, so those are your internal liquidity. So internal liquidity are liquidity that operates within the external liquidity. All right, so all this low right here, so all this low, they are internal liquidity because they operate within the external liquidity. So that is that on external and then internal liquidity. And then the next one I want to talk about right now is sell side liquidity and the buy side liquidity. All right, so if you are talking about the sell side liquidity, so sell side liquidity are liquidity that operates below the buying price. All right, they are liquidity that operates below the buying price. While the buy side liquidity, they are liquidity that operates above the selling price. All right, so what do I mean by that? So sell side liquidity are liquidity, so internally, all right, internally, so this liquidity down here is your sell side liquidity. Remember what I said, sell side liquidity are liquidity that operates below the buying price. You can see, so when price give this little push up, the last liquidity is created is your sell side liquidity because price is coming to grab them. All right, so price is coming to grab them, which is your sell side liquidity. So sell side liquidity are liquidity that operates below the buying price. All right, so in a bullish trend, your sell side liquidity will be at the bottom. All right, so when price give a pullback, before they return for that liquidity. So that liquidity that price will return to is called sell side liquidity. All right. Remember what I said, sell side liquidity are liquidity that operates below the buying price. All right. So these are sell side liquidity. And then the buy side liquidity are liquidity that operates above the selling price. All right. So okay, let me clean up the sell side liquidity. So these are so now, so buy side liquidity are liquidity that operates above the selling price. So up here, this is your buy side liquidity, all right, because this is the last internal low price created before the selling pullback. Then price take out the liquidity. The price give another pullback right here. So this another pullback right here. The price came back and take out our liquidity. So that liquidity price took is called buy side liquidity, right? It's called buy side liquidity. So we have another buy side liquidity up there. Price came back and grabbed them. So you can see when price give this pullback, then turn back for this liquidity and grab it, which is your buy side liquidity. All right. So you remember the definition I said. So buy side liquidity are liquidity that operate above the selling price, which is the and then the sell side liquidity are liquidity that operates below the buying price. All right. So that is that on. So I've explained internal and this and then external liquidity. The internal liquidity are liquidity that operate within the external liquidity. So all this sell side liquidity, buy side liquidity, your structural liquidity, your internal liquidity, all of them they are internal liquidity. All right, they operate within the external liquidity. The external liquidity come first, then the internal liquidity. Then you can be able to recognize your sell side liquidity, your buy side liquidity, your kind of liquidity, your trend line liquidity, whatever. All right. So the next liquidity I want to explain now is trend line liquidity. All right, trend line liquidity. So trend line liquidity, they are also internal liquidity. All right. So if you want to ask me that, okay, what are trend line liquidity? So when price push from this external liquidity, then price was coming down, right? So if you can see that price broke different structure, right? You have break of structure, break of structure, break of structure. So all this buy side liquidity right here that price didn't grab, they are trend line liquidity. All right, they are trend line liquidity because price is going to come and grab all the liquidity up there. You can see then price switch direction from this bearish to this bullish, and then why price change to bullish, because price needs to grab all these trend line liquidity right here, and the price did that, grab all the trend line liquidity. All right, so these are trend line liquidity broke series of structure, right? So when you have break of structure, break of structure, break of structure, those put your trend line liquidity, then you plot them. So that is your trend line liquidity. All right. So the next liquidity I'm gonna explain right now is structural liquidity. All right. So the same structural liquidity, they are also internal structure too. All right. So then what do we call structural liquidity? Structural liquidity is that structure when you have a break of structure. All right. So when you have a break of structure, then for newbie trader, this is a break of structure. All right. But for an advanced trader, this is not a break of structure. All right. Advanced trader, we don't call this a break of structure. All right. We call it a structure liquidity, which is the liquidity that price needs to grab before moving in our direction. All right. So structural liquidity, they are liquidity that grab buy side liquidity or sell side liquidity. All right, they grab buy side liquidity or they can also grab sell side liquidity. All right, for structural liquidity. Structural liquidity, they always break structure. And then there's another liquidity I'm gonna explain right now, which is engineer liquidity. All right, which is engineer liquidity. And then this engineer liquidity does not break structure. All right, it does not break structure. All right. So instead of it to break above, it's not going to break above. So it's going to do fake movement for you, then take out the sell side liquidity, then go in your direction. That is an original liquidity. So original liquidity, it's used to create internal high or internal low. Original liquidity, all right. So it's used to create internal high or internal low, so which is an engineer liquidity. All right, so that is that on liquidity. So I'll see you guys in my next video. I'll see you guys in my next video. In my the next video, I'm going to talk about entry. All right, I'm going to talk about entry. So guys, subscribe to my channel, join my Telegram channel, like, comment your opinion. So thank you guys. I will see you guys in the next video.